Let me welcome everyone here on behalf of the Coalition of Schools Educating Boys of Color. We're very happy to have you in the house tonight. Thank you. Now, we are back in Boston after 12 years, and COSEBOC, as we're affectionately known, was born in Boston. Right across the street at the Boston Foundation is where we held a reception 12 years ago, and it was only about 50 of us. Small group. Now, at the last count, we have nearly 800 adults here today that will be here for the next 3 days. So you can see that COSEBOC is starting to grow up. And in addition to the 800 adults, we're going to have at least 100, 150 young men. Is that right, Brother Conan? Now, the theme was intentional. This year, really intentional, given the climate that we're living in. Very intentional. Boys and young men of color, liberated, empowered, and educated. And if, when you think about that and marinate a little bit, it says a lot, the work that we need to do. Today, if you had the chance to be in the session this morning for Leaders Only with Dr. Gloria Ladson-Billings, if you were there, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about in terms of understanding what liberation and empowerment and education mean for all of our kids, particularly our boys and young men. So Dr. Ladson-Billings, a.k.a. Gloria, thank you. Love you much. Thank you. This is not an accidental moment. This is an intentional movement. And, you know, I want to thank everybody who's a member of COSEBOC, and I want to thank everybody who's thinking after tonight to become a member. Because, you know, change doesn't happen accidentally. It happens intentionally.
I'm honored to come before you as the first woman Latina chair of the board of directors to welcome you to the 12th annual COSEBOC Gathering of Leaders in Boston. On behalf of the board, I welcome you to this event and thank you for your support of the organization, for your commitment to the liberation, the empowerment, and the education of boys and young men of color. There is no more important time for us to come together to focus not just on the academic success of our children of color, but on their social and emotional development, their safety, and their well-being. We must come together as organizations, sectors, systems, cities, counties, villages, to take joint responsibility for the social, environmental, and fiscal conditions in which we live, learn, work, and play, conditions that our young people did not create, but that serve to foster or hinder their own progress. This is an organization where at its heart, at its core, is ensuring equity, empowerment, and opportunity for young people by investing in you, in the development of leaders like you who fight for the success of our boys and young men of color across the United States on a daily basis. Now is the time to embrace the wisdom of the old, the innovation of the young, and to use all of the tools available to us to demand the kind of future that all of our children are entitled to.
Today we set the stage with the Walk of Integrity, where you'll see our young men in the demonstration of their walk, the attributes, the qualities, and their developing missions start to make a declaration today. And that declaration is to be men. That declaration is to be men of honor, to be men of integrity, to men that will make a difference within our families and our communities and our world.
Benkati Dance and Drum Troupe. Let's give it up, and as we welcome 2018 12th Annual Gathering of Leaders Young Men Passage Initiates.
Our declaration here today and the statement that we're making is coming from antiquity to the present. We are people of the past, living in the present, moving towards the future.
I just want to say in closing, thank you so very much, because at the end of Kamal's presentation, we will be breaking, and you'll be traveling home safely, but follow COSEBOC and join us in the movement.
Black boys, stand up. You are a king. It is through you that hope will be reborn and freedom and justice will ring. Your story will not be untold, but it will shine through. From the pain to the power, to the trauma, to the triumph, we will always remember you. Your story will empower, will educate, and liberate our souls, giving us the strength to keep on moving, both young and old. Black boy, stand up. You are a king. It is through you that hope is reborn, and freedom and justice will reign.
And this is why we have to change the narrative about our young people, in particular our young men of color, especially when we see statistics that indicate that youth criminality has decreased 40% since the crack epidemic in the mid-1990s. But the portrayal of our youth, in particular our young men of color, has suggested 600% increases of them being criminals through mass media. The average American watches between 20 and 30 hours of entertainment television. I don't know who has time for all that, but according to Nielsen. And so if you're watching this day in and day out, week in and week out, month in, month out, year in, if you're not thinking critically about this stuff, are you going to start seeing these young folks as being part of the problem or part of the solution?
Guys, look, if there's anything you walk away with from this presentation, reaching kids isn't a complicated matter. It's the adults who make it complicated. And remember, kids do not care about the journey, they care about the destination. You're in the business of sales. How do you sell a child on what they're about to learn?
In honor of God, my mother, and all of my band brothers, I, Joshua Ramsey, make a commitment to make it big in this world and change the lives of many. These 2 days have caused me to think about how exactly I'm going to achieve my goals. Today, I consciously let go of any negative emotions holding me back from being the best me. And with me at my best, my goals will become achievements.